Hello and welcome to How to Lead a Hike. I'm your host, Lori Waters, and I'll be walking you through the steps involved in planning, preparing for, and conducting a fun, safe, and inspiring hike. While this video focuses on how to lead a day hike, the basic concepts and practices apply to all kinds of outings. As an outings leader, you'll introduce participants to the splendors of nature, spark their curiosity about the world around them, and hopefully inspire them to protect that world. Along with keeping participants happy and inspired, you'll be responsible for keeping them safe. In order to provide for the safety of your group, you'll need to anticipate and try and prevent incidents that could cause physical injury. You'll also need to know how to deal with such incidents should they occur. In addition to ensuring participants' physical safety, leaders are responsible for ensuring their emotional safety as well. Keeping participants emotionally safe means creating an environment in which they're treated fairly and with respect. Once you've learned what it takes to be a good leader, you'll be well on your way to mastering the art and science of leading fun and successful outings. There's a lot of ground to cover, so let's get started. Once you've decided your purpose for leading the hike, you can start planning. Careful planning and preparation are the keys to a successful hike. As you plan, consider how many people you'd like to take on the outing. Think about numbers in terms of what size group you'll be able to safely manage. Also take into account the potential environmental impacts of the group. Being familiar with the trail will help you anticipate and avoid problems and allow you to focus on enjoying the world around you. While you're scouting, find out if you'll need to obtain land agency permits as well as whether any restrictions or advisories apply to the area. Knowing every twist and turn of the trail will help keep your group safe. This is important whether you're hiking to enjoy the great outdoors, to engage participants in a conservation issue you're passionate about, or to develop outdoor skills. Keep an eye out for good spots to take breaks and eat lunch. At the end of your scouting trip, record the distance of the route as well as how long it took to hike. Keep in mind that it will take longer to complete the hike with a group. Once you know where you're going to hike, figure out where you're going to meet. Choose a convenient place for participants to congregate and provide them with information that will allow them to set up carpools to the meeting spot. One of the most important decisions you'll make is who will be the point and who will be the sweep. The role of the point is to set the pace by staying at the front of the group. The role of the sweep is to follow the last participant in the group. Now let's retrace our steps. Decide what you hope your participants will get out of this hike. Determine who your participants will be and how many participants will join the hike. Anticipate the environmental impacts of the group. Become familiar with your trail and be sure to note which permits are required. Designate break and meal locations. Record the distance and time of the hike. Set a meeting place for the participants. And finally, review and define leader responsibilities. Defining roles and responsibilities is important, especially when it comes to safety issues. As you'll see in our next section, safety first. Before the hike, consult with your assistant leader to decide who's going to carry the first aid kits and who'll take charge of the waiver sheets and sign-in forms you've collected at the trailhead, as well as any medical forms if you're using them. Look, it's no fun to fill out forms, but collecting them from people who have to fill them out can be very satisfying. Plus, you can give yourself a fancy title, too, like Keeper of the Forms. In addition to the forms, you'll need to bring the 10 essentials with you in your pack. Here you see the most common 10 essentials, but depending on the type of outing you lead, you may want to carry more than 10. The most common 10 essentials are a first aid kit that includes the emergency response card, water or a water purifier, spare clothing, extra food, a map, a compass, matches, a whistle, sunglasses, and a flashlight along with spare batteries. By now you're probably starting to get the idea. Being well prepared will help you anticipate and avoid problems on the trail. While most hikes go smoothly, some don't. Hopefully you'll never experience anything worse than a blister or a scrape. But if you do, your careful planning and preparation will help keep your group safe and happy and allow them to continue to enjoy the great outdoors. Safety is important. To ensure a safe hike, make sure to bring the 10 essentials with you. Contact and locate nearby ranger stations as well as local hospitals. Be sure to share your itinerary with someone outside the group. And remember to submit your hike proposal to your chair for approval. You may want to include the following information in your outings announcement: the date and time, the route and destination, a difficulty rating, special skills or conditioning that will be needed, name and contact information, and the supplies participants should bring: food, water, appropriate clothing, and any special equipment. You'll also need to include a note that participants must sign waivers before going on the outing. Don't forget to add your name and phone number in case participants want to contact you. Once you've publicized the outing, make yourself available to prospective participants. If possible, give each one a call a week or so before the outing. That way you can answer any questions they might have and screen each one to determine whether they'll be able to participate safely in the hike. If you're going on a short hike, you probably won't have an opportunity to screen participants until you meet them at the trailhead. But if you can screen day participants beforehand, by all means do so. Here are some good questions to ask. Have you ever been on an outing like this before? Do you have appropriate footwear? Do you have enough water and food? Do you have any medical conditions we should know about? Remember, information about medical conditions must be kept confidential. Now that the planning stage is complete, it's time to publicize your outing. Create and distribute your outings announcement. Screen interested participants over the phone or in person at the trailhead. And remember to have all participants sign in on the liability waiver. Okay, so you're almost ready to hit the trail and start exploring. Just a few more important details to attend to. As a hike leader, it is essential you prepare your participants before hitting the trail by giving a trailhead talk. Here's an example.
This is our Tennessee Valley hike. So make sure you're in the right place. Kathy or myself have talked to most of you on the phone. Thanks. And I see that everybody's got the proper footwear and proper attire. Our route's going to be about 6 or 7 miles. We've got one steep climb. Take us to a ridge top where we'll have a great view. And then we'll head on back and we'll be looking for wildlife along the way. The only plant to worry about, well, it's poison oak. Kathy and I are both first aid certified. And we'll also be talking about some of the natural history and human history of the park.
Deliver your trailhead talk before the hike begins. It should be informative, friendly, and concise. Stress safety issues and let your participants ask any necessary questions. Above all, prepare your participants for a fun, safe, and enjoyable hike. Once you're on the trail, spend a few minutes chatting with everyone in the group. Rest stops and lunch breaks are good opportunities to check in with people. You might ask them why they came on the hike, bring up a relevant conservation issue, or mention upcoming outings. Talking with the participants can help put them at ease. It also gives you the opportunity to monitor people's energy levels, decide whether it's necessary to take additional breaks, and make sure everyone stays hydrated. Sometimes it's best just to let nature do the talking. On the other hand, if you're moved to talk about the history of a particular mountain, lake, or meadow, and if people seem interested, feel free to share your passion and knowledge. John Muir, who is part poet, part scientist, would be pleased. As long as I live, the co-founder of the Sierra Club once said, I'll hear waterfalls and birds and winds sing. I'll interpret the rocks, learn the language of flood, storm, and the avalanche. I'll acquaint myself with the glaciers and wild gardens and get as near the heart of the world as I can. As you know, there are amazing trees, rivers, and mountains everywhere. On every path, there's compelling history to share and inspiring stories to tell. So if you're interested, do a little detective work and find them. It's no secret that most people don't really care about something unless they feel connected to it. As an outings leader, you can help people reconnect with the wonders of nature. You may even inspire them to protect the trees, mountains, rivers, and meadows they enjoy during their hikes. Make your hike fun and enjoyable for everyone. Meet and greet your participants before the hike. Deliver your trailhead talk prior to starting on the trail. Respect your participants' desire for silence or conversation. And if there is a conservation issue you're passionate about and people seem interested, please share it. Wrap up the hike by thanking everyone for participating. And take the opportunity to distribute information about pertinent conservation issues and activism opportunities, as well as membership forms. Make sure everyone gets started on their way home okay. And put sign-in sheets in a safe place. You'll need to send them to the outings chair later on. As you wrap up the hike, thank your participants for joining you. Distribute conservation and membership materials. Check that everyone has a way home. Remember to give your sign-in sheets and waiver forms to the chair. And if there was an accident or near miss, fill out any necessary incident report forms. When making a plan, do the following. Determine the outing's purpose. Determine the number of participants. Assess the environmental impacts of the group. Know the trail. Obtain permits and identify hazards. Determine break and meal locations. Record the distance and time of the hike. Set a meeting place. Review and define leader responsibilities. Create a safe hike by doing the following. Bring the 10 essentials. Locate ranger stations and local hospitals and find out what assistance is offered. Share your itinerary with others and obtain chair approval. Spread the word about your hike. Publicize your outing. Screen participants before meeting or at the trailhead. And bring a sign-in sheet and liability waivers. Remember, have fun and inspire your participants. Meet and greet your participants. Deliver the trailhead talk. Have conversations but respect silence. And discuss conservation issues. To wrap up the hike, thank your participants. Distribute conservation and membership materials. Make sure everyone has a way home. Give sign-in sheets and liability waivers to the chair. And fill out any necessary incident reports. Thank you for watching. And on behalf of the Sierra Club, thanks for volunteering to be a leader. Now take a hike.